welcome to the Winter Wonderland and to the Flame and Fiber podcast. Welcome to the Flame and Fiber podcast. My name is Barbara. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Diva S. I want to say hello, welcome. Welcome to the new subscribers. Welcome to the old subscribers. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for your lovely comments and messages. I really appreciate it. That's why I do this, so I can, have a community, of course. So I don't know if I'm doing this Leslie style. Leslie from Not Quite Enough Yarn. When she does her podcast, she does video clips here and there and then puts them all together at the end of the month for a monthly podcast. I know I won't be saving him till the end of the month, but I don't know if this is going to be a whole podcast, which is very possible, and it's going to be a very short podcast, or if I'm going to add more later. But I think this is it. I am wearing my snow shoveling clothes. As you saw from the opening, we got a nice bunch of snow last night, and I'm going to need help Dennis shovel because I'm supposed to go visit my parents today. I'm drinking my first cup of coffee, so if I am completely incoherent, that would explain why this is my David's teacup. I have a lot of things going on. We're going to Florida on Thursday morning. It's now Monday morning. It snowed last night, so we have to shovel our driveway because it's going to be very cold for the next few days, and it won't melt if, on its own, even though, it's starting to feel springy here. It needs to be shoveled, and we have a long driveway, so I don't think Dennis... I could leave him and leave it for him to shovel, but that would be crummy. My parents don't want me to get there too early anyway. It's a 3-hour drive for me under normal circumstances. They don't want me to get there too early because they have naps. So I told them I'd come at 3. It's 9:15 in the morning, which means I would have to leave around noon. But I have more things to do than I think I can do in 2 3/4 hours, including a podcast. So I think I will be a little bit later. I told him I would take him out to dinner when I got there, but I don't think I'm going to. I took some of Dennis's chili out of the freezer. I'll bring chili. We'll have chili. They'll love it. And because I think they got snow too. They're in State College, which is in the center of Pennsylvania, and I'm in the southeast corner, not the far corner. I'm not in Philadelphia, but I'm in Chester County, So I'm feeling like, but I have some knitting to show you that is going away. And so I wanted to at least do a quick finished objects video. And probably this is going to be it. So I'm going to have I promised a podcast before I went to Florida, and I think this might be it. But if it isn't, you'll know that before you're done with the podcast. So the first finished object, you never saw it when it was being made. I'm doing this Vlogmas style. This is my living room when it's not decorated for Christmas. And I don't know why I'm doing that, except Dennis is having his tea in bed, so he won't bother me. Now, but I have a sunny window right there, so it's not terrible. It's a little washed out. When I first put it up, it's closer. See how that light changes? That's it, right there. And now it's a little brighter. This is a hat for my sister. Her birthday is past, but she wasn't expecting a gift anyway, so... This is the Ditto hat. Hey, Chevy, Ditto! The Ditto hat by Anne Gagnon. And I'm pretty sure it's a free pattern. It's got a little bit of a cable detail, and it's hard to see the details because the yarn is so busy. This is yarn that I dyed in my yarn dyeing class. Those of you who are longtime watchers might remember I took a yarn dyeing class a couple years ago in the fall at the Neighborhood Fiber Company in Baltimore, and I dyed this yarn to make my granddaughter Isabel a giraffe, and it turned into a really cute giraffe, but I had lots of it left over. And my sister's coat is teal, and her scarf she's knitting herself is this red. So she thought this would be okay. I showed it to her from my Ravelry stash, the picture of my Ravelry stash. She thought it would work. It ended up a little bit big. This pattern only has 2 sizes. Small, which is youth and small, and medium and large. And I did the medium large. Actually, it's going to be perfect. She lives in Boise. She lives in Boise, Idaho. She doesn't have a hat. So I will be sending her this hat before I go to Florida. I have some mailing to do. And Sarah, I'm probably not going to be able to send your package until after I get back from Florida. I'm really sorry. I'm doing an exchange with Sarah to get, I'm sending her some stitch markers and some beads. And she's sending me yarn. I'm like, yay, that's the only way I'm getting new yarn this year. I'm glad to. But I haven't made the stitch markers yet, and I don't think I'm going to be able to. Anyway, so this turned out to be a cute hat. It was a fun knit. The crown details are nice if you have yarn where they will show better, but they're not really showing very well. But it is a nice hat. I really like it. You can make it slouchier if you want it, I'm quite sure. So anyway, so that's for my sister for her birthday. The other finished object isn't really finished, but this is the only time I can talk about it. Oh, there's nothing like that first cup of coffee. With friends. Coffee with friends. Oh my gosh. So, last time I was at my parents', my dad said, oh, your mother needs another layer. She's always cold, and I made her a sweater. I've made her 2 sweaters. And he said, she needs another layer. She needs a vest. So if Mama needs a vest, Mama gets a vest. So I made her this vest. This is by Isolde Teague, and it's in the Little Red in the City book. And this is the vest I made my mother. Now, this is a wonderful book. It's got actually some really lovely designs. And she talks a lot about a lot of things. Only half of it's designs. This is the designs, and this is the talking. And she talks about all kinds of techniques, but she also talks about knitting. And she has a section on blocking. And, you know, calculating the rate of shaping. I mean, this is a really, really lovely book. And I'm pretty sure somewhere in here, there's a little note on why, you know, when you go from a knit stitch to a purl stitch, why it's looser and things like that. I mean, so there's a lot of good information in this. I bought this used on Amazon. And anyway. And this is the one I made. Angostura. Angostura. So I recommend this book. I mean, you should check out the patterns and see if there are ones you like. But the other thing about her is, you know, these are the sizes. It goes from 30 to 60 for this vest. And, you know, she has all kinds. There's a cute little color work cardigan with just a simple not simple, but small yoke in there, and that goes from sizes 30 to 60. So the whole book may be size 30 to 60. But the nice thing is there's a plus size woman modeling everything. So you see Isolda is modeling her size, and then this young woman who's a friend of hers is modeling a bigger size, so you get to see it. So anyway, Angostura is what I knit my mother. And it's not quite finished in that I have not sewn the side seams. I'm going to do that when I'm there. I have no idea what's wrong with me. I left there thinking, oh, I'm going to make her a vest. Did I measure her? No, I did not. So this is my guess at her size. She's much smaller than me. So I made a size 32, and I blocked this last night real quick. And I had to pull it to get it to a 32. So it's supposed to be 0 ease. So anyway, the reason I left the side seams open is because if it doesn't fit her, it's because it's too small. And I figure I'm taking my yarn and I can just, I mean, it's got this wonderful stripe pattern. I can just knit a stripe and put it in there, and then I'll have 4 side seams to put in instead of 2. But that'll give her more width under her arm if she needs it, which she may not. I showed you the back of this before, and I think that's where I was when I did my last podcast. So that's how the back turned out. Oh, and I didn't bring the yarn over here, but I'll go get it. And then the front. Now I messed up the front, and I'm either gonna just say, Mom, your daughter is imperfect. I messed right here. You can see those 2 sides do not match. But I might just put a loopy loop right there that looks like a slip stitch, and I think that'll be enough to hide, you know, one here and one there, and otherwise it'll be fine. I might not even do that. Depends on how much time I have. Why do I show you that? Why don't I just say, it turned out so great? But this is, I have to say, I had a lot of fun knitting this pattern. I really, really did. I think it's lovely. I'm tempted to knit myself one. I don't own a vest. I don't even know if I would wear a vest, but I'm with my mother. I'm always cold, so anyway, let me go grab the yarn, the bag, so I can talk about the yarn a little bit, because, you know, it's a podcast. Pearl's here with me. You want to say hi? Hey, Pearl. You want to say hi? Are you playing in the snow? Huh? Are you playing in the snow? Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm going to finish my podcast. Okay, I grabbed my bag. I really enjoyed using this bag too. This is from Darn Yarn MN. This is a really nice bag. I just really, really like it. It's got the waxed canvas on the outside. It's got leather handles, so it's kind of chic. It's got fun arrow fabric in the inside. It's got a magnetic close, so you could use it as a purse and just close it like this, but I need more security, so it's also got a string. Guess why I need more security? This I knit holding 2 yarns together. It's a worsted weight. Oops, I got my needles in here. It's a worsted weight the pattern calls for worsted weight, which I do not have a lot of. And I didn't have one that I thought my mother color that my mother would love, so excuse me while I organize myself, while I'm looking down. Oh, I'm dropping my yarn. All right, so these are the two yarns I held together to get that kind of marled. Doesn't even look marled, it just this desert, painted desert, which is this one, painted desert. It's marled, and it's a lovely, very light fingering, and it has different colors in it, so it gives a little depth to the knitted object. I got this at my local yarn shop many years ago, and it's 100% superwash wool. And then this is L Elite DK. Oh, and there's the phone. Nobody I want to talk to. If my answering machine tells me it's a number and just the number, I don't even get out of my chair. It's L Elite DK, and it's 50% superwash wool and 50% cotton. And it is not dryable, but that's all right. She won't dry it. In fact, I'll probably wash it for her, since I think it's got to be blocked. Yeah, 50% wool, 50% cotton. So that's the yarn I used. I enjoyed knitting with the yarn. I didn't have, well, the first ball of the Painted Desert was a pain in the neck. It had been falling apart and I had rewound it, and you know how that goes. Not well. Didn't go well. But this bag was big enough to hold 5 balls of the L Elite plus 2 balls of the Painted Desert. I really like the bag. I really must say I am very happy with the bag. Now I've got to... Oh, I have to take it with me. Duh. Got to take it with me to my parents because I have to finish this. I might have to make little side panels, and I'll just make an inch wide side panel to match the other things, and you know, that'll add 2 inches. I think 2 inches would certainly be enough. But maybe I was right and I picked the right size. It could happen. It could happen. So that is those are the 2 things that I have been knitting on since last I spoke to you. I do not, well, I'm going to have to sit and think about what I'm bringing to my parents to knit on besides finishing up Mama's vest. I'm not going to be there very long because if I don't get there till 4 or 5 this afternoon, I'll still leave tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's just a quick drive-by visit to check on them, and because my dad is still recovering, and he had apparently checked himself and took himself to ER for an asthma attack, which they were able to fix him right up. When I talked to him, he said, I haven't felt this good in weeks. So that's good. But my brother is away. My brother, who lives in State College, is away. So I thought I would just go and, you know, take a look at him in person before I go away. They're fine, but, you know, you want to hug them and say hi. So I will be doing that. So I won't have a lot of time to knit, but I'll grab the Odyssey shawl that I started, because I would really love to have a finished object for myself out of that alpaca I bought in Peru, since I bought so much of it. Maybe I'll find... You guys want some alpaca? Anybody want to do an exchange for alpaca? Oh my God. It's lovely yarn. It's a DK weight. Okay. So if this is going to be a podcast, let me talk about the other things that I've been doing, which was I got my Pom Pom magazine and I posted this on Instagram. This came with a reminder that I'm going to need to renew my subscription. I get it by subscription. Now I'm in the United States. This magazine is $60 a year for 4 issues. So it cost me $15 an issue. It's a beautiful magazine. I'm sure you're, you know, well aware of Pom Pom magazine if you watch other podcasts, because everybody's talking about Pom Pom, because it really is a beautiful, beautiful magazine. But the last issue was like this special Victorian issue, or I'm not even sure, you know, fantasy issue. It was guest edited by Nora Gahn. And it was a beautiful magazine full of really beautiful things that none of which I would make or wear. That's not true. I mean, I think there was one sweater I thought, oh, I could wear that one. And there was a shawl. And you could always, you know, a shawl is always wearable. But the patterns had big puffy sleeves and big peplums. You know, they were sort of costumey looking, and they weren't my thing in the least. Although Andrea Fruity Knitting made the cover sweater. She wore it in her last podcast, and it looked beautiful on her. And it just had a little bit of a puffy sleeve. I'm not wearing a puffy sleeve. I'm not making a puffy sleeve, and I'm not wearing a peplum. So anyway, I was, you know, since I'm trying to, you know, kind of cut back a little bit, I'm not buying yarn, which doesn't mean I'm not buying anything, but I thought, well, I'll stop my subscriptions. But at the same time, I got that Pom Pom magazine that I was like, eh. I got the Vogue knitting got And there were 10 things in there I wanted to knit. And I'm like, well, you know, it's cheaper. I got 2 years for $44. It's cheaper. And it just feels like after, you know, comparing those two issues, it was much more wearable. So I renewed my subscription to Vogue, and I was on the fence about Pom Pom. So my last Pom Pom came, and it's the botanical issue. Well, this is a very cute sweater that I would wear. I love the details. Of course, that's the only thing that makes this not an ordinary raglan sweater, but it's very pretty. It has one thing about this one. This was really pretty, but it's crochet. I think I might need to learn how to crochet. There are several crochet patterns in here, which I thought was really interesting. And I'm in the pattern part instead of the pictures part. This was also crochet. There were 3 crochet patterns. I thought that was pretty too. I don't go to the beach, so I don't have a big need of something that's a little more like a beach cover-up, but it was really pretty, and I like that. But I'm not re-upping on the, this is a very pretty shawl. I think that's what's on the back. I'm not re-upping on Pom Pom because of the crochet patterns, because I don't crochet. But that was a sweet thing. Although, to tell you the truth, I do not like the way that fits her under her arm. So I don't know if it wasn't the right size. But I probably wouldn't make this just because I don't like the way that fits her. And I've never made Fair Isle. But I'm going to. It's on my list of things to do. But that's really cute. But I probably won't make it because of that underarm issue. This one, on the other hand, I think I might make. I really like that. It's like a little short sleeve t-shirt with some interesting details. Isn't that cute? That would look okay on me. Here's a very nice hat. That's color work. I don't know if it's, maybe it's, yeah, I think it's just color work. Then that crochet thing. These are cute, but these are also crocheted. Isn't that fun? If you're a crocheter. And I liked this one. This is a, you know, big oversized sweater, but I thought that was nice. But it looks like it's made out of big chunky yarn. And then the Woodwardia which I like too. So interestingly, this is like the spring edition, but these are pretty thick, heavy yarns. But this is cute. Anyway, so I got this, and so I was thinking, you know, that's better. Maybe I'll keep it. And then I got to this page. Botanical Gimlet. Yay! This is a delicious drink. Now, I didn't actually do the infusion on the gin, so they tell you how to do infused gin with different botanicals. So a gimlet is lime juice and gin and sugar. I mean, I use Splenda. They call for simple syrup, but I use Splenda because I try to do low carb. Anyway, so I've been drinking botanical gimlets, which I really, really liked. And then they also have other articles. And the other article is hibiscus and chamomile lotion bars. I made those. Of course, I didn't have any chamomile. I've ordered it, but I didn't have any. But I ordered hibiscus, but it came in with other ingredients. So so I made, and I didn't package them pretty, and I'm not sure. So I made hibiscus lotion bars. Now, I'm going to probably mess around a little bit with the formula because this doesn't absorb into your skin quickly, which as a knitter you really need. I found myself wiping my hands when I was done with it, but I've been putting it on at night before I go to bed, and my hands are much better. My hands are getting pretty dry. I'm not good about lotioning them, so I've been putting this on before I go to bed, and then go to bed with greasy hands or tacky feeling hands. It doesn't matter. I can still sleep. And so, in general, my hands are feeling better, although I haven't used it this morning. So I've already made 2 things out of that magazine. And I do recommend, I have botanical gins. I have gins that already are flavored with lots of things besides just juniper berries, which is what gin is made from. So that's what I used. I used some gins that consider themselves botanical, but it turned out yummy. If you want a recommendation, I say go for it. And I am thinking about infusing my own gin. So that would be fun. So that's my knitting. Now I've stopped my video a couple times, so I don't know how long this podcast will be, but I don't have any more knitting to show you, and I have some shoveling to do, and this is it. I won't be talking to you anymore again before we go to Florida, which is in just a couple days. And anyway, you've heard it all. You don't want to hear it anymore. Oh, and I bought lipstick. I bought lipstick for my podcast. Oh, well, I was gonna turn it off and go put my lipstick on and show you my lipstick. I'll show you my lipstick next time. Oh, I was getting ready to edit this podcast, and I totally forgot to tell you all about our knit along. Leslie of the Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast and I are doing a year-long craft along, and it's the Craft from Your Stash make along. So if you own the yarn or the fiber in 2018 and you started the project in 2019, it qualifies. So be a member of my group, be a member of her group, and I will be picking a quarterly prize at the end of March from the FO thread, and I will be also picking a pattern prize from the chatter thread. So come and show us your finished objects, all the things that you're crafting from your stash, and join Leslie and me and as we knit from our stash. So anyway, I couldn't believe it. I forgot to talk about that. So now I'll say goodbye. I hope you are having lots and lots of time to do the crafting that you love, and that you're having fun playing in the snow if you got snow, or you're having fun not having snow. And I hope you're looking forward to fall if you're in the southern hemisphere, as we are looking forward to spring up here in the northern hemisphere. And I wish you all the joy of your crafting.